Hey, God bless you, familia. This is Pastor Choco. Happy New Year to everyone. As I talked to you last month about we're in the season of discipleship, I wanted to teach you part 2. A recap, we were from Matthew chapter 28. That's the verse we used. And remember, I shared with you that that discipleship is a command. And then number 2, that discipleship starts at home. And can I tell you my greatest fear, if you will, is that we as a society, as Christian society, we've abandoned discipleship. We need to get into discipleship. So let me give you number 3 and number 4. Number 3 is disciple as you go, and number 4 would be disciple as you grow. So let's cover number 3. Discipling as you go. Culture tells us that it's all about you. I got news for you. It's not about you or me. It's about Jesus. And this is the conflict. This is the tension that we have. And as a result, Christians have become bored. Christians have become stagnant. So when there is no go or going, there's stagnation. Boredom and discipleship is not happening. So when you think about you, when you think it's all about you, you don't care about what's happening with someone else's growth. You don't care whether someone is growing or not. Discipling is a mandate from Christ. The question is whose life, look at me, whose life is being changed because of your life? In Luke chapter 5, verse 1 through 3, there's an occasion while Jesus was pressing on to hear the word of God, and he was standing by the lake of Gennesaret, the Bible tells us, and he saw 2 boats by the lake. The fishermen had gone out there and they were washing their nets, and getting into one of the boats, which was Simon's, he asked them to put it out a little bit from the land. And he sat down and he taught them from that boat. In this passage, we see how Jesus interacts with his disciples. He approaches Peter and he gets into his boat. That's a beautiful picture. In other words, he gets into his life when he gets into his boat. In the New Testament days, it was customary for the student or a disciple to choose his own rabbi to learn from. But in this occasion, Jesus is flipping tables and he chooses his disciples, and he got into the boat of Peter. So you must disciple as you grow. It's a matter of fact, when you look at Jesus's command about making disciples, the first 2 years and a half, he traveled with these 12 guys for 2 years and a half, and he discipled them. It wasn't until he got to Caesarea Philippi and he asked the question, who do people say I am? And Jesus said to Peter, upon this rock I will build my church. Peter said, you're the Christ of the living God. You're the Messiah. And Jesus said, upon this rock I will build my church. Amazing how Jesus Christ traveled with them for 2 years and a half, and he discipled them. But the last part of his ministry, he says, I'm going to build my church. Number 4, you got to disciple as you grow. When it comes into being a disciple, it's important to understand that we're not made, we're being made. In Luke 14, we receive the first requirement to becoming a disciple. He says, if anyone wants to become my disciple, he must pick up his cross. And that's the difference, my friends. You've got to pick up your cross. Let me leave you with this story. Imagine, or this analogy, if you will. Imagine that you would come to a place in your life and you say, I want to go buy this piano. And you go to the store and you buy a piano. And then you buy 1 year subscription. And let's say that on Monday, they deliver the piano and the subscription in your house. It doesn't mean that you know how to play piano. Now you've got to pay the cost, right? You pay the price and now there's a cost, and that means practice. And that's what it is with discipling. As you grow, you've got to pay the cost. I pray that this year, 2025, will be that year where you continue to pick up the cross and follow Jesus. Love you guys.